What if I told you that the reason you're lying awake at 2 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, heart racing, mind spinning, has nothing to do with getting old? What if the reason millions of seniors cannot sleep has a simple 2-minute solution that cardiologists have known about for years, but almost nobody is talking about? Tonight, that changes, because in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what the science says about sleep after 60, why your heart and your brain desperately need you to sleep better, and the simple 2-minute routine that cardiologists now say can transform the quality of your sleep. No pills, no supplements, no expensive devices. Stay with me until the end, because the last thing I share with you tonight might be the most important thing you do before you close your eyes. Section 1, the sleep crisis nobody is talking about. Here's a number that should stop you cold. Over 50 million Americans over the age of 60 struggle with serious sleep problems every single night. Not occasional restless nights, not just waking up once or twice. Persistent, chronic sleep difficulty that leaves them exhausted, foggy, and frustrated every single morning. And here is what makes this so alarming. Most of those people believe it is simply part of getting older. They have accepted it, they have stopped fighting it, they take a pill, pour an extra cup of coffee, and push through. But the cardiologists and sleep researchers who have spent their careers studying this say something very different. They say poor sleep is not inevitable, and they say it is far more dangerous than most seniors realize. Dr. Juan Cardenas Rosales, an internal medicine physician who has studied sleep in older adults for decades, states that adults who sleep fewer than 7 hours each night are more likely to experience serious health problems. But here is the part most doctors do not have time to tell you in a 15-minute appointment. It is not just about how many hours you sleep. It is about what happens to your heart and your brain while you are sleeping, and what happens when you do not sleep well enough. Section 2, what sleep does to your heart. The American Heart Association made a landmark decision in recent years. They updated their list of the most essential things a person can do for cardiovascular health, what they call life's essential 8. And for the first time in history, they added sleep to that list, right alongside controlling blood pressure, managing weight, and quitting smoking. Let that sink in for a moment. The world's most respected heart health organization now officially considers sleep as essential to your heart as diet and exercise. Why? Because while you sleep, your heart is doing something extraordinary. Your blood pressure drops, your blood vessels repair themselves, your heart rate slows and steadies, your body produces hormones that reduce inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system. Dr. Virend, a cardiologist who has published extensively on sleep and heart health, explains it this way. Sleep is restorative. During sleep, your brain and body perform many critical tasks that are important for overall health, and your heart relies on that restoration more than any other organ in your body. One study of more than 60,000 people found that sleep quantity and sleep quality each separately increase the risk of heart problems, meaning even if you are sleeping for a reasonable number of hours, poor quality sleep, sleep that is shallow, disrupted, or restless, still puts your heart at risk, just as much as sleeping too few hours does. And then there is your brain. While you sleep, your brain activates a remarkable system called the glymphatic system, essentially a biological cleaning crew that flushes toxic waste proteins out of your brain tissue. One of the proteins it clears is beta amyloid, the same protein that builds up in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. Every night of poor sleep means another night where that cleaning process is incomplete. And over years and decades, that matters enormously. The bottom line is this: sleep is not passive. Sleep is not wasted time. Sleep is when your heart heals and your brain cleans itself. And at 60, 70, or 80 years old, protecting that process is one of the most important things you can do. Section 3: Why sleep gets harder after 60 and it is not your fault. Before I share the 2-minute routine, I want to take a moment to explain something important because I know that many seniors carry guilt about their sleep problems. They feel like they are doing something wrong. They wonder why their spouse sleeps fine, but they cannot. And I want to be very clear about this. What is happening in your body is not your fault. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin, the hormone that signals to your brain that it is time to sleep. Your circadian rhythm, which is your internal clock, naturally shifts earlier, which means you may feel sleepy earlier in the evening, but also wake up earlier than you would like. Your sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented, with less time spent in the deep restorative stages that your heart and brain need most. At the same time, many things that come with aging chronic pain, the need to urinate more frequently at night, anxiety about health, medications that interfere with sleep, all pile on top of these natural changes. The result is that up to half of all seniors have significant trouble sleeping, compared with less than a quarter of younger adults. You are not alone in this, and you are not broken. You simply need a better strategy. Section 4: The 2-minute bedtime routine. Now, let us talk about what actually works. And I want to be clear about something important before I share this. This is not a gimmick. This is not a trend. Every element of what I'm about to share is backed by published research from cardiologists, sleep scientists, and neurologists. This is science presented in a way you can actually use tonight. The routine takes 2 minutes. You can do it lying in bed, sitting on the edge of your bed, or in a comfortable chair, and it has 2 simple steps. Step 1: the 4-7-8 breathing method. This is a breathing technique that cardiologists and sleep specialists now recommend specifically for seniors with sleep difficulties and elevated blood pressure. Here is how it works. Breathe in gently through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 counts, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 counts. That is 1 cycle. Do it 4 times. That is all. Now, let me tell you what is happening inside your body during those 4 cycles. When you exhale slowly and deliberately, particularly for a longer count than you inhale, you activate something called the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the part of your nervous system responsible for rest, recovery, and calm. When the parasympathetic system activates, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure begins to drop, the stress hormone cortisol, which is one of the biggest enemies of deep sleep, starts to decrease. The research on this is compelling. A 2021 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association measured the impact of controlled breathing exercises on blood pressure in older adults with elevated readings. The results showed a drop of 9 points in systolic blood pressure without any medication changes, simply through consistent breathing practice, and a comprehensive review of multiple randomized clinical trials confirmed that slow, deep breathing lowers both blood pressure and heart rate in seniors with hypertension. Deep breathing can reduce the heart's workload by increasing oxygen supply, resulting in a decrease in heart rate and a subsequent reduction in blood pressure. For your heart, doing this before bed every night is like giving it a head start on the overnight recovery it needs. For your sleep, the effect is equally powerful. The slow exhale tells your brain at a chemical level that it is safe to let go, that it is time to rest. And your brain listens. Step 2, the body scan. After your 4 breathing cycles, which take less than 90 seconds, do this. Starting from the top of your head, slowly bring your attention down through your body, your forehead, your jaw, let it relax and unclench. Your shoulders, let them drop away from your ears. Your hands, open them gently if they have been curled. Your belly, let it soften with each breath. Your legs, your feet. You are not trying to force anything. You are simply noticing where your body is holding tension and giving it silent permission to release. This takes 30 seconds. Together with the breathing, your 2-minute routine is complete. What this does is interrupt the loop of anxious, racing thoughts that keep so many seniors awake. When your attention is in your body, physically scanning from head to toe, it cannot simultaneously be replaying the argument from last week or worrying about your doctor's appointment tomorrow. You are gently, intentionally pulling your nervous system out of its alert state and into the conditions your body needs to fall asleep. Section 5, three more things to do before the 2 minutes. Now, let me give you three additional things that the research says make this routine even more powerful. Each of these takes less than 5 minutes to set up, and each is backed by hard science. The first is temperature. A 2019 systematic review and meta analysis that pooled 17 separate clinical trials found that warming your body 1 to 2 hours before bed through a warm bath, a warm shower, or even a warm foot soak significantly improved how quickly people fell asleep and how efficiently they slept through the night. The reason is straightforward. Heat raises your core body temperature, and as your body then naturally cools down over the next hour or two, that cooling process mimics the exact temperature drop your brain uses as a signal that it is time to sleep. A 10-minute warm foot bath or a brief warm shower before your bedtime routine makes your 2 minutes of breathing even more effective. The second is darkness. Your bedroom should be as dark as possible when you sleep. Darkness is what triggers your pineal gland to produce melatonin, the hormone that your body already produces less of as you age. Every light source in your bedroom, a phone screen, a clock, a television on standby, street light through a thin curtain, suppresses that melatonin production. Blackout curtains or an eye mask are not luxuries. For a senior who already produces less melatonin than they used to, they're genuinely helpful tools. The third is consistency. Research confirms that going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, including weekends, is one of the most powerful things you can do to stabilize your sleep. Your internal clock runs on rhythm. Every time you sleep in on a Saturday or stay up late watching television, you shift that rhythm slightly. And for a senior whose clock is already running more fragile than it once did, that shift costs you. A consistent bedtime is not boring, it is medicine. Tonight is different. Here is what I want you to take away from everything we talked about today. Your heart needs you to sleep, your brain needs you to sleep, and neither of them care whether you believe that a 2-minute breathing exercise can make a difference. They will simply respond to it every single night because that is what the science says they do. You do not need a prescription for this. You do not need to spend a single dollar. You do not need to be young or flexible or free of pain. You just need 2 minutes and the willingness to try. Tonight, before you close your eyes, breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 7, out for 8, 4 times. Then scan your body from head to toe and let go of every place you're holding on. And then sleep, really sleep. The way your body was designed to, the way your heart and your brain have been waiting for you to let them. Please share this video with someone you love who's been struggling to sleep. Because somewhere tonight, there is a 75-year-old lying awake in the dark, thinking this is just how things are now. And it does not have to be